One of the shifts that's happening in the SaaS landscape, if you're just a wrapper on an automation, you won't be around for long because people can get the AI agents to do that. The SaaS companies that are going to survive the next 3 to 5 years are going to be the software companies that deliver meaningful and deep domain knowledge about something in such a way that they fix a lot of things altogether.
Welcome to the Customer Commerce Podcast, where technology's fast and biz is a blast.
In life and in business, time is precious. It's why customers stay or leave and why businesses succeed or fail. We're here to give a voice to everything that makes business, whether as a customer or as a CEO, easier and more rewarding. Welcome to the Customer Commerce Podcast. Let's dive in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Customer Commerce Podcast.
We took a gap month, year, quarter, something.
Yeah.
We took a gap something. Something happened. There's been a lot of things happening, actually.
I don't know about you, Michael, but for me, I like to have a word of the year. Like when I start the new year, I'm like, What's the word of the year? And I was looking at for this podcast itself, what's the energy that we're stepping in with, as the Gen Zs would say? What's the energy we're stepping in with? And I figured, if it's okay with you, that it's only fitting that it would be Tasmanian Devil energy.
Steve energy. Well, he's got grit. He goes after things. You know, Tasmanian devils have the strongest bite strength of any animal their size or something like that. Some crazy metric and statistic, but he's a bit scrappy, gets in there and gets the job done. Bit of an Australian spirit. Should be right. Make it happen. I mean, there's a lot of things happening in the world that is just crazy as right now. I mean, it is an insane planet Earth that we are hurtling through spaceship Earth on around the sun, traveling through this cosmos. And you know you're living in interesting times when, if you took the headlines for this year and read them out to somebody from 5 or 10 years ago, they'd think you were telling either a horror story or pure fiction. I mean, some of the headlines that I've read recently are just like, did someone make that up? Or is that real? Because it's just bizarre.
That's kind of the importance, I guess, of living in such a bizarre time, is that the people, the companies that are very sane and have that grit and are willing to make it go right despite all the freaking craziness around, is almost like they're the bedrock of what's going to keep us going, to get real deep about it very fast.
Yeah. And welcome to the Customer Commerce Podcast.
Yeah.
Philosophy in your back pocket.
What has been the biggest win of 2025 in terms of StoreConnect, in terms of business overall?
StoreConnect's been very interesting on its journey. I think the biggest win in 2025 is we really got our point of sale platform delivered. It's now operating and people are using it. And that's the first time there's been a true end-to-end point of sale to retail to website experience that exists all the way into Salesforce. And no one's done that before at that level. And that's a pretty massive win product-wise. I think client-wise, seeing our clients win and doing really well and continuing to scale is always gratifying. And then, things like Dreamforce that we had last year, that was amazing. 3 days of just intense activity. Jess was running around with her Steve microphone and the camera and everything that was going on, and having about dozens and dozens and dozens, I don't know how many exactly, bookings afterwards that I had to stay in America for, to basically do a couple of weeks of back-to-back calls just to follow them all up. It was really intense. The whole AI thing last year and how that really started exploding. It had already started the year before, obviously, but with ChatGPT, but how it's really just taken off. I mean, there are so many balls in the air right now. It's absolutely insane. And we're just looking forward to basically delivering it all this year and really taking StoreConnect to that next level. We added salespeople in the US. We opened up other markets. Yeah, it's just exploding in all angles.
I want to talk about Dreamforce for a second. There's a lot of talk about networking, and you got to network and you go to these big events and you have to pay a little bit to attend, to be there, and let alone to run a stall.
Yes.
Some people kind of have this idea that, does it actually make a difference? Do you find, what's your take on going there in order to network, but in order to, reach clients, reach customers, potential customers that you wouldn't reach? Is it worth it? StoreConnect have attended a few times.
3 times.
How have you found it grown? Has it been the same every time?
I've attended Dreamforce, I think 6 or 7 times all up. I've sponsored 3 times in a row now. It really depends on the type of company you are. If you've got something that customers want to talk to, makes a lot of sense to go. And the thing that I found most interesting about going was being able to actually talk to prospects who are in market and finding out what their problems are and concerns are and that sort of thing. We have one of those awesome products that's exceptionally compelling. So as soon as someone actually got into our booth, they would find out about it and they would keep asking us questions. And the most common thing is, how did I not know about you guys? Like, this is insane. And that was really interesting. I think as a software vendor, it makes sense to go if a decent size of your market are Salesforce users. StoreConnect is obviously built on Salesforce. Most people think that means that you have to be a Salesforce user to use StoreConnect. That's true, but over half of our clients were not using Salesforce when they start talking to us, right? 46% of our clients were already using Salesforce when we started to talk to them. Being in that market lets me meet, half of my target market, which is pretty amazing. And for us, it made a lot of sense. We got to see a lot of partners, a lot of other ISVs that we also partner with. We do a massive campaign across, we're doing a big partner campaign and rolling that out worldwide. And we're calling it our audacious marketing plan. And from that point of view, it's definitely worth going. If you're a consulting company and you're not one of the big 4 or 5, it would be questionable whether or not it'd be worth going. I just don't think you're going to find people looking for consulting partners at that sort of an event. People are going there looking for specific solutions. So you either need to have a productized solution as a consulting company or a product like a software product that you're selling.
This is a little behind the scenes of StoreConnect. I work, with PR and marketing for StoreConnect. And I love that on some of the planning, the strategy planning, one of the rules is like, we have to handle the point of people saying, I wish I'd known about you earlier.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's our number one closed lost reason for sales is, oh my God, if I'd just known, I wouldn't have done blah 6 months ago. And this is partly why we're doing a massive campaign and rolling that out, and people will hear more about that into the future. I mean, it's a good problem to have. I mean, if your prospects are saying, if only, that's much better than why would I want you? So it's a good place to be, but we just need to address it. And 2026 is the year that we're addressing that in our company.
What goals do you see ahead for this year for StoreConnect? Is there any specific thing in mind that we can maybe share?
I mean, we've got a lot coming down the AI pipe. Look out for that. We're going to get some really big clients online this year. So we're going to be in the news in all sorts of different spots, which is fantastic. We've got government clients going live. I mean, really, StoreConnect for the past 6 years has been building the foundations to enable this year to happen. And our growth curve is crazy. Like last year, we were at 150 something percent growth. This year, I think we'll beat that again. 150% is 2.5 times previous year's revenue, right? And that's without any marketing. So we've basically been doing no marketing. This is all just word of mouth demand. So this year we're putting the foot down on marketing. We're going to be really reaching our customers where they are, telling them how we can solve their pain points and seeing what happens. I think the biggest thing that's going to happen this year that I'm really looking forward to is our partner network actually exploding and just booming. So it's a great time to be a StoreConnect partner. We now have a marketing plan. We have a go-to-market strategy where we actually work with our partners to bring in deals. So most software companies go to their partners and say, hey, do you have any deals that you can give us? It's just the wrong flow. I think this is sort of something around customer commerce as well. In StoreConnect and in many companies, you have 2 types of customer. You have the customer that's actually paying you money for something, but you also have another customer in terms of your partners and the people that work with you that you have to give them something in return. And you're providing them something, which is a marketplace or a software product or whatever it is you need to do. And whenever you're dealing with a customer, you need to make sure that you understand what they need and want in order to succeed. And we've always known what our partners needed in terms of leads and work. It's just we haven't been able to execute on that up until very, very recently and at any scale. I mean, we did. We've had a lot of partners earn a lot of money out of StoreConnect, believe me. But we really want to take this up to 11, just yank it past that 10 and get all the way to that Spinal Tap 11 for anyone who doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, because it's louder than 10. We can really start smashing it and getting this level of action going. And that's probably the thing that I'm looking forward to most, just getting past this, why didn't we know about you before, and getting to, I've heard about StoreConnect, we need it. And that's what's happening this year.
Nice. And if partners were interested, like they're watching this right now, what should they do? How do they get
StoreConnect.com/partners.
Okay.
There's
Easy
a form there,
that.
fill it out, you get access. Go for it. If you're a Salesforce partner or you really want to build websites, things like that, that's where you go. Speaking of which, that's the other thing that happened last year, right at the end. We got StoreConnect.com. So we used to be GetStoreConnect.com, and now we're just plain old StoreConnect.com. So that was good. That was a 3-year negotiation on my behalf, and we finally got that done.
Okay, well, I feel like we should go into a little game. What do you think, Michael?
It depends what it is, Jess.
Your eyebrows went into it depends what it is. You know the Cadbury chocolate ad from ages ago, which I think is one of the best marketing ever, is the guys with the eyebrows, these 2 kids with the eyebrows, and they do the dance.
Yeah.
You just went like
cup and a half of full cream milk. Yeah, I just did the eyebrow thing.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do the myth truth game, but like e-commerce style, or I should say customer commerce style. Okay, so the first myth is that connectors equal integration.
If you're trying to build an e-commerce or any sort of platform really, and you just have all these connectors pulling stuff together, you're only ever going to get about 80 to 90% of what you actually want, unless you build a really custom integration, which costs crazy money. Most connectors, I mean, we had a client. It's a fantastic client. I'll see if I can actually find the quote while we're just on the little chat here. They left a message on our website, and the problem was that they were really worried about how their Shopify connector works. Here it is. They said, we're currently using Shopify in tandem with Salesforce. We ended up there because we were told that Shopify, air quotes, integrated seamlessly with Salesforce, end quotes. We have unfortunately learned that this is absolutely not the case. After watching your videos, it seems though yours might be the product that we're looking for from the very start. I'd very much like to have a demo and discuss with someone at StoreConnect, see what your product might solve, and if it might solve this nightmare of a problem we have right now. And we get this all the time because the connector will connect Shopify to Salesforce or some website to Salesforce, but it'll only synchronize certain things at a certain rate, at a certain time. And if your business needs something else, well, you're stuck. You need to get another connector or a different connector. And now you've got race conditions and all this sort of thing. So you see on websites, we connect with blah. And that might be true, but you have to be really careful about what that actually means. And I'm not saying all companies that say they connect with something are lying. That's not the case whatsoever. I mean, we connect with things as well. It's just that you need to understand what is that connection and what is the data that's actually going from A to B. Because these guys were told that it did integrate seamlessly with Salesforce. And for a certain subset of data, that's probably 100% true, but it's just not what they need. And that's the hard thing. That's where you really have to ask the question.
And then the next one is AI is only for the 100K enterprise club.
I mean, anyone can launch AI right now. With Open Claude that's just come out, with Claude Cowork, people can use these things right now and get really significant action and solutions straight off the bat. And you should totally be using this for your e-commerce, customer commerce environment. Go to something like Grok or Claude Cowork or OpenAI, ChatGPT, any of them. Put your URL in there of your current site and say to it, analyze this and tell me if I should change anything to hit my target market, and tell it what your target market is. It'll give you suggestions, and then go ahead and implement that. You can do that on probably the free version, and you could get meaningful insights and do something with it tonight. Okay,
next one. I can manage inventory in 2 places and just sync them.
You should. I mean, so yes, this is actually true. You can do this. However, a thing to think with here is that one of those 2 systems must be the owner of it and be responsible for it. And the other one should only be accessing it either to see current levels or to send messages saying, I just deleted one or something, I sold an item. It's not impossible to have that. And you should have a system that manages your inventory. And depending on your size of company, that will either be a dedicated system like an ERP, enterprise resource planning system, or an accounting system, or it can be StoreConnect with an accounting system built in like Accounting Seed, who are our friends, or with an ERP built in like Rootstock, who are also our friends. And that just makes things way more powerful. So for example, you could take Rootstock, Accounting Seed, StoreConnect, all built on top of Salesforce, and have a complete business in a box, from inventory management and control to accounting, invoicing, shipping, billing, account reconciliation, general ledger, all the way through to products, pricing, payment methods, gateways, payment links, online services, and point of sale, all running out of one platform. And that's never been possible before in the past. And that's a true unlock. If your business is at a point where you can just have one screen to log into, and it's got every part of your business from online browsing through to manufacturing, that's crazy. That used to be the realm of billion-dollar companies installing software. Now, you could conceivably turn this all on for $20 or $30 or $40,000 a year. And that's mind-blowingly different. I mean, the cost savings on that, $4,000 a month, $1,000 a week, to have one place where everyone can just see everything that's going on, that's next level.
God, I can hear the business owners going, oh my God, I have to look at my numbers.
Totally.
Wow. Okay, next one. Plugins are cheaper.
They can be, but again, what does it do? So StoreConnect famously doesn't have a lot of plugins. We allow you to build what you need within the platform itself. The problem with a plugin is that it goes out to, when you install it, and when I say plugins, I'm always thinking about a Shopify plugin. So you install Shopify and then you install, 5, 10, 15, 20 plugins to make it do what you want it to do. You've got the blah plugin and the subscription plugin and you've got all these things, the gift card plugin. And each one of these will do a whole set of functions, but it's almost guaranteed that they won't do the 100% set of functions that you want. So what will happen is you start layering these plugins on top of each other. And if this does 90% and the next one only does 90%, now as a combined, you're only at 81%. And if the next one only does 90%, now combined, you're only at 73%, right? And as that grows, you're getting a smaller and smaller percentage of overall spend. We've had clients install StoreConnect and turn off upwards of 20 plugins, 20 SaaS products in the process. Now, is the StoreConnect system simpler? No, not generally. You're going to have to put a bit more work in configuring it, getting it up and running, making it do what you want. But once it is doing what you want, it's way more stable. You're not shipping data to other systems. I mean, all of those plugins have probably a copy of your Shopify database somewhere on some random Amazon server, and you don't know what their security is like. You don't know who's working there, like all of that sort of stuff. So StoreConnect keeps it all within Salesforce, and that's where plugins really can be a challenge. Again, not all plugins are bad. If you're sort of addicted to them, they can be very, very quickly.
I like it. So StoreConnect is kind of the long-term solution.
Yeah, do it right solution. It's like the difference between buying a table from IKEA, it'll work, or getting a crafted solid wood table from somewhere. Both will work. One will last you 10, 15, 20 years. The other one you're going to have to replace in 3 years.
Okay, the last one. AI can just read my website and be smart.
It's getting better, actually. I think it's almost to the point where it can do that. You just have to remember with AI, the old adage, bullshit in, bullshit out. One of my favorite quotes is, to err is human, but to really screw up requires a computer. That could be extended to err is human, but to royally screw up requires AI. I think you have to be aware that your artificial intelligence system is only as intelligent as the data that it has about what you do and what you have. It's useless having an AI system answering questions on your website if it can't read your support tickets. Because then hey, can you help me with my support case? Sorry, you don't have any open support cases. What do you mean? I literally just received an email, right? That's actually going to be detrimental to you. This is really where the power of what Salesforce is trying to do is, in that they're consolidating a lot of this information in a trusted, safeguarded environment. And that, I think, is quite a power play and will create a really interesting dynamic moving forward, because Agentforce can read all of the data and it has access to all the data. So it's going to be very powerful. One of the shifts that's happening in the SaaS landscape, I've been posting about this quite a lot, is software as a service. If you're just a wrapper on an automation, you won't be around for long, because people can get the AI agents to do that. The SaaS companies that are going to survive the next 3 to 5 years are going to be the software companies that deliver meaningful and deep domain knowledge about something in such a way that they fix a lot of things altogether. Where I'm positioning StoreConnect with that is that we provide not only the website, but the infrastructure to make sure that your website runs and connects. And that's not easy to vibe code. it's not easy to just bang out. You can bang out a website pretty easily, but hosting it, maintaining it, keeping SOC 2 Type 3, ISO 27001, GDPR, HIPAA, PCI compliance, keeping all that running that takes a lot of domain knowledge and work. And that's where companies like us will thrive. The other areas that will thrive is the deep domain knowledge around getting things done and hiring people as experts to do those things. Because while the AI agents will do that in many cases, quite often they'll produce, by definition, the most probable outcome of what you're asking, unless you really prompt it to not do that. But then they'll also produce the most probable, improbable outcome, if that makes sense. So, you really have to be careful about where you're putting all those dollars.
All right, well, that's enough about StoreConnect and how awesome we are. I feel like we need to get into something completely different. I want to know your opinion, Michael, on these trends / things that came out in 2025. And if you're for them, like yay, or no, please no, nay. So it's going to be rapid fire. All right, so first things first, battery flavored Doritos.
How do you have a battery flavored anything?
You do, because Doritos came out with a battery
flavored. What's the taste of a battery? That's a no from me. Just ditch it. Next. Batteries are literally toxic and caustic. You eat a battery, you're going to die.
But it's not eating
at least
battery.
End up in the hospital.
But hang on, have you ever, because maybe this is just me, but as a kid, don't you remember, like, if you were a kid, like licking a battery? Like,
you mean the 9-volt battery and getting the tingle to tell if it's charged or not?
No, just the taste, just the outside taste. You've never tasted a battery?
This explains a lot about you, I have to say.
No, it explains a lot about other people, clearly, because they've come out with battery-flavored Doritos.
That's wild. Okay,
next. So you have no experience in this. No worries. Moving on. All right, Labubus.
My daughter says yes. I say hell no.
Does she have one?
No.
Okay.
But her cousin does.
Hell no. Okay,
cool. Like, oh, can I get a Labubu? And I'm like, no. I literally was walking around in Canberra and saw a 24/7 Labubu pop-up shop. And I'm going, are you kidding? Is the demand that high? Like, it blew my mind. Canberra.
I saw a guy decorate his Christmas tree with just Labubus. Crazy. Anyway, next one. Okay, charities going digital, as in they're now kind of moving to e-commerce and online.
Well,
as
100%. And use StoreConnect. Next.
Oh my gosh. StoreConnect does charities? Great. Okay, next one. Michael, get off the document. Dyson headphones. Yeah, they're giant too. To me, they look like a vacuum, but you're wearing it on your head.
I haven't seen them. I saw the Dyson air filter thing, and I thought that's ridiculous. I just couldn't see it work. Is it styled the same as Dyson? Yeah, no.
And I have to say it because I tried them on because I was looking at headphones, and you have the Apple headphones. I mean, I can't believe that they're like $900 to $1,000.
This is what I wear. These are Sony.
Sony's great.
UXMP. They've got the worst product name in the history of the universe, but they're light. And the thing I like most about them is they fold right up into a little package. These headphones last year traveled 200,000 kilometers with me around the world on airplanes.
I believe that. I ended up getting Sony as well. So I can vouch. What about the metaverse real estate? Do you know anything about that?
I could believe it. I think I wouldn't pay for it. The problem with it is you're buying virtual real estate that literally can be printed. Now, the same could be said about dollars these days, but at the same time, you're buying an idea and that idea can be changed at any time. So that's a no for me. That reminds me of the $1 million display ad where you bought pixels, like sections and pixels on this display ad. You bought a 10 by 10, I think it was 100 by 100 pixel logo on a page, and they were selling each one for $1,000, and they made $1 million over 3 weeks or something. It was in the .com boom. If you go to it, it's milliondollarhomepage.com. You can open it. It's all still there. And these are all logos of companies that bought all sorts of things. And then there's, logos that you'll never recognize because they're completely gone. And other ones that it's hard actually to find a name of a company that you recognize. The Times is in there. I mean, there you go. There's one. Very few, like Cheap CDs, Golden Palace Casino.
Last one, palm scanning payments.
Beep, beep. The idea of tracking your money biometrically against your physical, no, I'm a big no on that. I actually still prefer cash if I can get away with it, but I'm a Luddite. To be honest, though, I use my phone pretty much everywhere to pay, but at least this is not physically connected to me. I can get a new phone. I can change to Android. As soon as your actual handprint is what's going to determine whether or not you can get paid or not.
I saw Amazon started it and they've actually discontinued, but it was like, it was running for a little bit and it was a bit weird. Okay. Well, I think to wrap up this podcast, I would love to hear, do you have a bit of a prediction on?
Totally. The next thing that's happening in the world is agentic AIs that actually do something for you. If you haven't looked into Claude Cowork or open source solution, these are going to revolutionize. This year is going to be all about that. I have a server running down there that is running a very secured OpenClaw environment. In fact, it's coding for me right there at the same time that I'm on this podcast. And it drafts articles for me. I then correct them and I then publish them. It is doing all sorts of things. It worked out a whole marketing plan for some part of my business that I could then bounce off and figure out and go in different directions. It really is a very powerful solution. And that is going to be the defining thing of 2026. AIs and LLMs actually doing useful work.
Okay, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
It is.
Well, Mikel Lindsaar, thank you so much.
No worries.
For jumping on for this first episode. I want to quickly share something that I feel like a lot of our audience might be interested in. So we've started a Get Steved campaign. It's very, very simple. And I have to say that the prize is $250.
250 schmackaroonies.
Yeah. And we just had a winner recently. And
wow. Who was it?
Scott Stafford.
Scott!
And the way he won, all he did was post a photo. Actually, he did many photos and videos. So that's a way that you can definitely up your chances of winning. He took a photo of Steve. Michael, where's Steve? So he took a photo with Steve, posted it on his socials and did a hashtag with it, Get Steved. And for that month running, we had a bunch of people that posted photos with Steve. And then there was the winner. Scott was the winner. And now we're running it again. We're just giving money away. It's crazy. So if you're interested in getting money, all you have to do is post a photo with Steve. And then you can
hashtag Get Steved, right?
Yeah.
And make sure Jess sees it.
Exactly. That's why the hashtag is important.
That's right.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right, ladies and gents. Have a great week. We will see you next month. Okay, bye.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you had an awesome time leaving you with ideas on how to improve your business and wow customers. If you'd like to leave a real customer's story, head to the link in our show notes and cuss away. Love the show? Please subscribe and leave a review because that enables us to help more businesses in building real relationships with customers and grow more rapidly. See you next time.